What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Breakdown Sportscast. I am your good friend and host, Kory Willis. I hope everyone is having a great Friday, getting ready for week one of the college football season. So, yeah, we're here. Hope y'all are excited, as much as excited as we are. So, yeah, I hope y'all are closing down everything for the week, getting everything wrapped up, all of your projects, and getting ready to watch some good football out there. So, yeah. As always, we appreciate y'all listening in on the show. As always, we love when you guys can engage with us. As always, you can listen to us on many streaming platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Amazon Music, and Amazon Audible, iHeartRadio, and many other streaming platforms out there. So we very much appreciate y'all's support. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the show. It helps us know what we're doing and how we can improve the show for the future for you all. So, yeah, be sure to do that. We appreciate it. As always, you know who I'm here with. I'm here with my good friend and co-host. He is Chris Bolton. Chris, what is going on, my brother?
Hey, man, Kory, it is time officially. As we record, we got games going on now. And then it's going down Saturday. There's plenty of ranked matchups. It's going down right now. We keeping it real. NC State. By the time everybody's listening to this, the game will be over. But they are in the middle of a scrap as we speak against Western Carolina for the battle for the state of Carolina, North Carolina.
Look, you just push North Carolina aside. Like, this is the real battle.
Ain't nobody worry about them. And they on Fox right now, but ain't nobody standing on Carolina.
Yeah. So yeah. If y'all haven't known by now, if right now we're recording this on a Thursday evening, there are a lot of games going on right now. But by the time you listen to this show, we'll definitely get the results of some of these games. And as my good friend Chris just mentioned, NC State is in a little tussle right now in their football game. So yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, they're taking on Western Carolina. And Western Carolina, last time I saw it, they were up 21 to 17. So yeah, it's very interesting
going into the fourth
game.
quarter.
Yeah,
put your fours up.
put your fours up. Look, at this point, NC State, they're gonna need to put all fours up on a game like this. Like, they better bring out freshmen.
They're gonna have to be 10 toes down because it's a battle in the trenches tonight, boys. So we'll see how this one plays out.
Exactly, man. You better put some of those high 3-star, 4-stars there that you got out there, NC State.
Man, hey, what Western Carolina said, we found some gems out here in the state. All the boys that wanted to be at NC State, there, Western Carolina, giving it all they got tonight. So,
that's what it seemed.
Oh man. Oh, but yeah, this is just a taste of what's to come, Kory, for the whole entire weekend. This is just a little morsel, a little snippet. The teaser. We're going to dive into it, but Saturday is chock full of just fun matchups and questions will be answered. Questions we've had all off season. We might finally get into answering some of these questions here week one.
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, one of the biggest things, people were talking about in week 0, a lot of the teams didn't play that week. And, we only had a week to go to see a lot of these teams perform on the field. And now we're getting there. They're drip feeding us, Chris. They're drip feeding us just little by little. It's like a live service game. Like, I ain't gonna give you this. It's like playing 2K. We'll give you a little VC. But if you really want the whole full course meal, of course, you gotta subscribe to ESPN and all of these other networks and really delve into the college football season. So
yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's going down now. It's time, and we're about to get into it. And so not just in the season, but here on the show, we finna dive in as well.
Exactly. So yeah, man. Big week in week one coming up, Chris. One of the biggest games of the season to start out. We got Clemson versus Georgia. I think that game's going to be in Atlanta. So it's a hostile environment. if I say so myself.
Neutral site game.
Yeah, neutral site game.
Neutral site. Yeah.
like, come on, guys. You think it's just gonna be a bunch of Georgia fans out there? Come on now.
They really should just went ahead and had the game in Charlotte, man. Just have it in North Carolina, out there where the Panthers play.
And it wouldn't have mattered.
Clemson a bone. They could have traveled to out there. The Clemson fans from South Carolina, they would have made that trip for sure.
Yeah. Come on now. It's not that bad. It'll be there. It'll be packed.
Yeah. I guess they still will make the trip to Atlanta. It's the excuse to make a trip to Atlanta for them.
Yeah, well, to them it's probably a precursor. They probably like, man, look, this is in a couple years. This is a site for the SEC championship for us, man. We trying to squeeze in any way we can.
No, hey, you ain't lying. You might be on to something. We'll see. We will see.
Oh, man.
This should be a fun matchup, fun game we have here with the top number one team in the nation, Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah, I agree with you. I haven't seen the line in this game. I'm looking right now. Yeah, Georgia is a 13.5 point favorite in this football game, according to ESPN Bet. So yeah, it's looks like
point favorite against the 14th ranked team in the nation. Neutral site field. It's an interesting line.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we know what Georgia has, with Carson Beck and a lot of talent that has come back and a lot of new talent. They also lost a lot of talent, but it's still Georgia, and still having Carson Beck at the helm at the quarterback position definitely gives Georgia that much needed boost in this game, because they have their leader back. They have the gunslinger in the backfield, calling the plays. So that's good if you're Kirby Smart. Taking on a Clemson team that, I mean, we saw them last year, Chris. They had their ups and downs. I mean, one of the biggest low points I saw was that Duke game. So, I mean, this is a big year for Dabo. This is a big year for Cade Klubnik. He's a guy in the ACC is really trying to, bust through that door and really catapult this Tigers team into prominence again. Haven't seen it in a couple years from Clemson, so it's going to be an interesting game. A lot of good storylines in this game, but I think overall, if I had to call a winner, I think Georgia just has a little bit more in the tank in this football game. What do you think?
Agree with you. It seems like, let's just start off here. We do have two coaches that are national championship winning coaches. National championship winning coaches. The only other outside of these two gentlemen is Mac Brown at North Carolina, who has also won national championship, one with Texas. But Kirby, Dabo, two guys, two big time personalities, two big brands, and we'll see how this game goes. But I'm pretty confident that Georgia gets the win. It feels like to me Vegas is too, with the 13.5 point spread. Seems like Vegas thinks Georgia should, pull away and win decisively. And that's interesting that Clemson's ranked 14th in the nation, but the spread is so large. So I feel like Vegas has questions about Clemson just like we do. And I just think, Georgia retools. Yeah, they lost Brock Bowers, but they got the Delp brothers. Oscar Delp.
Yeah.
Henry Delp. And these some big boys. They coming out there's Atlanta and then there's Georgia. These boys from Georgia. Coming Georgia.
Hey, they know all about, barreling hay and getting the cows fed. They know all about their country lifestyle.
Too much about it, because my goodness, normally guys get to school and they gotta develop into a college body. Not Henry Delp, 6'2", 205. He already ready to go. Then big brother 6'5", 245, Oscar Delp, who I think he's going to continue the lineage of what is Georgia tight ends now. For a long time it was Iowa tight ends, and still to a respect, Iowa continues to produce great tight ends. Sam Laporta, Iowa guy, but you lose Brock Bowers and you still have probably the best tight end room in the nation. And so I think Oscar Delp is going to put himself on the map and have a huge game in this game, just with his size and speed combination. And we know how Georgia utilizes the tight end position and stars the tight end position in the offense. So someone like Oscar Delp, who was a highly recruited, highly rated prospect coming out of high school, finally getting his chance to be the main guy, I think he's going to shine in this game. In Georgia, I think the defense will. It's just one thing we know about Georgia. Georgia's defense will be stout, and I think they're going to force Cade Klubnik to try to win the game. And we've yet to see him be able to just go out there and win the big game. So I think Georgia pulls away and wins by 20 in this matchup.
I think you're right. I just think Georgia, in the end, like you said, Kirby has been synonymous since he's been at Georgia with utilizing those tight ends to his advantage, Chris. And I think this is going to be pretty much same song and dance. You got Oscar Delp in the mix, and I think he's really going to be utilized in this game along with a couple other people on this team. Roger Robinson, running back, he's going to get his touches. Some of the wide receivers on this team, they're going to definitely get their touches as well. Dylan Bell being one of them. So I think overall, Clemson.
And then you got Branson Robinson too at running back. We've been waiting, ready to see Branson turn up. From Mississippi, how huge of a recruit he was coming out of high school, and then he signed with Georgia.
Exactly. So much talent. Can't forget about Trevor Etienne, who is going to be RB1 out there. So it's just the fact that his supporting cast is also going to take over that load along with him as well. I think it's just going to be a little bit too much for Clemson at the end of the day, and I think Georgia, they're in a good position. I think, if all goes to plan in winning this ball game.
Yeah. I'm curious too. I wonder if we'll even see. I don't anticipate it, but I'm curious to see if we'll see some packages, like a package that might feature Jaden Rashada, the freshman quarterback that Georgia has, who's extremely talented and athletic.
Look, they got 20 million quarterbacks in their quarterback room. Just put everybody out there, all right? Look, Jay, you play fourth quarter.
I'm just curious to see because that's something that I think teams will. When you have a weapon in athletes, even at the quarterback position, they tend to try to get them out there. We saw K-State do that last year with their quarterback now, who's starting. So because he was playing behind Will Howard, but we'll see what Kirby has up his sleeves. I know it's only a matter of time before we truly learn who the playmakers are for this Georgia team, because it's a lot of new faces, a lot of new faces, a lot of different people that you might not be familiar with, but people are going to learn very quickly who these guys are for Georgia. And it starts Saturday.
No, you're right. You're right. I love the Avery Johnson comparison, and just with this whole team, like you said, there's going to be a lot of new people coming into to the fold now. So, that when you're playing with Georgia and when you're underneath Kirby Smart, it's that next man up mentality. Everybody's looking at you pretty much this season as being the top dogs. No pun intended, in college football this year. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting because we are going to see a lot. I feel we're going to see a lot of young talent coming out there to play. One of the guys that I don't think I got a chance to mention this gentleman like I had wanted to, Chris, but there's a new freshman that plays wide receiver for the Georgia Bulldogs. You want to know what his name is, Chris? You wouldn't believe it.
I did. Well, go ahead and hit me.
His name is Nitro Tuggle. I really hope I see this true freshman from Indiana. I thought this guy was a fake player on College Football 25, Chris, on my Dynasty mode. Nah, he real deal. He real guy.
And then this is how you know Nitro is for real. Mm-hmm. He as a freshman, he's wearing the number 2.
Yes.
you know how these single digit numbers, how valued they are in college football locker rooms.
Yeah.
So nobody was tripping on Nitro getting number 2.
No. no one. I'm not, because I've seen what he's like in a video game and in real life. He playing on Saturday.
Oh, best believe.
And if I'm a Clemson DB, beware.
Just like Ryan Williams.
Yes.
He'll be playing on Saturday too for Alabama.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be, you're gonna see some freshmen. They're gonna get some time out here and make some names for themselves. Yeah, you're right. Nitro will be one of those guys with a name for himself here very, very soon.
Oh yeah. I am ready to see this gentleman get out here on the gridiron, Chris. I've seen him on my video game. I want to see what he's like real life playing for the Georgia Bulldogs. Oh my gosh, that name is already a household name, and he hasn't even made a route yet.
He's playing the perfect position, a wide receiver with the name Nitro. Yeah. You just know he runs a 4.43 40.
Exactly. You just know it. I don't even need to see the scouting report for the week. I just know he fast.
Oh man.
But yeah,
it's going down. I agree that Georgia should get the win. I think pretty convincingly come Saturday. I have a lot of questions about Clemson still. And if they answer those questions, great for Clemson. But I'm at the point where it's kind of, you got to show me before I believe. But I can't go against Georgia in this matchup.
Yeah, me as well. I think, like I said earlier, Georgia's just going to be too much for Clemson, and I think they're really going to control both lines of scrimmage and just dominating this football game as it progresses through. So yeah, that's pretty much that game. You got any last words to say, Chris, before we move on?
No, sir.
All right.
We can keep it moving.
All right.
And then we'll be tuned in to what the soap opera of Clemson football and how it plays out this season.
Yes, you know how it is with Clemson. They're gonna give us a soap opera.
It's gonna be a show.
Yes, all season.
All season. I will be glued to those Monday morning press conferences.
Mm-hmm. Me as well. So get ready, Dabo. I got the camera. I got my ears is ready.
Just
bring it to
be
me.
ready for the YouTube. As soon as we see the link drop, we listening.
Exactly. So yeah, that's going to be a really good game to watch. Just pretty much to kick off everyone's Saturdays. Saturday this week. It's 11 a.m. kickoff on ABC. So be sure to tune in to that game. But yeah. So from Clemson versus Georgia, Chris, we are now going to move to the state of Florida, your neck of the woods, where Miami and Florida will be colliding in
game of the week.
Big football game in the state of Florida. So yeah, what are your thoughts about this game? I think I'm gonna let you kind of take over a little bit on this one, since you're already kind of in the thick of things. You kind of seeing this battle before it even happens on the gridiron happens. So what do you think is?
Yeah. No, this is a huge matchup. We've had our own discussions about just the state of Florida and the talent, the pool of talent that's here with the athletes in high school. This is a game that will be used in recruiting pitches to come as coaches recruit this season to lock in some of the talented guys here, some of the top 4 and 5 star prospects in the state. But as the game itself, to talk about this matchup, two really good teams. I mean, we expect Florida to struggle record-wise, but as a team, they're not a bad team at all and have continued to recruit well. It's just, can they get the win? Will this offensive line hold up? That is, I think, one of the biggest question marks of this matchup. The offensive line for Florida going up against what I believe is one of the 3 best defensive lines in college football, with the D line that Miami has and what Robert Bain Jr. is coming in town to do on Saturday in Gainesville. He is just a menace. He's wearing number 4 for a reason. We're gonna say this all season, people. When defensive linemen are wearing a single-digit number, be afraid.
No, I agree with you. Like you ain't got no other choice. Like he's starting. If he ain't starting, he getting a lot of reps at the number 2 spot in his position. And
you look up and down that D-line, Kory, you're gonna see he ain't the only one sporting a single-digit number like he on offense. So get ready, people. You're going to see some studs on that D-line, and we're going to just see just how improved Florida's O-line is. I think Miami, with the addition of Cam Ward, it's an addition by subtraction deal too, with Tyler Van Dyke leading the program. He really struggled and was very turnover prone last season, and I think we saw another quarterback get a chance last year for the Canes. They tried to figure things out. So not only did they kind of lose a guy who put them in harm's way, they brought in a playmaker. So we'll see just how well and how this offense has gelled during the off season. But you listen to everybody. You guys listen to the pod. You know how high we are on Miami. I feel confident saying Miami wins this game. But there is a world, and I would be remiss if I didn't say like Florida doesn't have a legit chance. This is a game. This can very well go down to the wire. I expect Miami to pull away, but if Florida's O-line is legit, this can be a very close game. If Miami struggles and it takes some time for this offense to gel, well, Graham Mertz is a returning quarterback for Florida. Who's to say Florida's offense might not look better than Miami's? There is that chance as well. So we're going to see a lot of questions that need to be answered based off the intel I have and what I think is going to play out. I think Miami wins by 14. I think they pull away. But this game is at the Swamp. Florida does have SEC players, SEC talent. Florida's a legit program that continues to recruit. Florida can pull off the upset, but I'm going with Miami in this one.
No, I agree with you. I think this game is going to be a very tight, gritty football game. I'm very excited about what Cam Ward and what Graham Mertz does this year for Florida as well. Because Graham Mertz, I don't like hate Graham Mertz's game. I think he's a very competent quarterback at Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has a big year as well to prove himself in the SEC. But overall, I think this is going to be a very ground and pound football game. Like you mentioned, that O-line for Florida, they really want to make a name for themselves. And what way to do it by taking on a really stout defense that Miami has garnered since last year. So it's going to be a very interesting ball game. Yeah, I see all the single digit players for for Miami as well. So that way they're big time. And just by looking at Inside the U, which is Miami 247 Sports recruiting page. Looking at their recruiting last season, they got a lot of really good players out there. Their highest rated player was Justin Scott on the D line.
Yes, yes. Justin Scott's legit. He'll get action. He'll be out there for sure on Saturday.
Yeah, you better do it. Like you got a 5-star guy out there. Just throw him out there.
Exactly. He's going to be out there for sure. And that brings up, I think, an underrated point in this matchup. Mm-hmm. Depth will be tested for both teams. This is a 3:30 Eastern Time kickoff in the middle of the summer, the end of August, in the Swamp. Gainesville, Florida. It will feel like a pressure cooker. If you're in that stadium, if you're at the Swamp, and then let alone playing in the game. Gatorade, Powerade, Pedialyte, water, ice,
pickle juice,
mustard, whatever. Bananas, all of that will be on standby for this game, Kory, because your hydration will be put to the test. It might be the hardest test of how hydrated you are for the season in this game, because this will not be easy, and it's the first game as well, so you're trying to ramp up yourself already into game speed and game shape, which you should have been doing all summer, but it's always that first game always hits different. And it's a game like this in these conditions. Oh my goodness, depth will be of the essence.
Yeah. You better get ready. Like this. Look, a game like this in the state of Florida in this heat, and I'm out here in Texas. That heat in Florida, that's a different kind of heat. Like, yeah,
And what?
this is gonna make look this game right here. It's gonna make a man out of somebody in this game.
For sure.
So I
For
totally get
sure.
what you mean.
Yes, yes. So yeah, we're gonna learn a lot about the depth of both teams. But I tend to when I look at the rosters, I tend to lean towards Miami having the better roster, and I think Mario Cristobal and his staff. We've heard a lot of questions about how good of a coach are you in game. I think they want to prove that this year that they're on top of their X's and O's, along with having and bringing in the athletes.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So yeah, it's gonna be a clash of two great storied football teams, and yeah, we're really gonna get down and see what happens down there in Gainesville. It should be a very fun matchup. 2:30 game on ABC. So yeah. Anything else you want to mention? Oh, I wanted to mention the line is at 2.5. So for Miami. So Vegas already kind of they're feeling the way that we're feeling right now. It's going to be a tough nosed football game, but in the end, I think Miami has a little bit of the edge.
Agreed.
But yeah. Anything else you want to add before we move on?
No, sir. Let's keep it going to another big time matchup.
Yes. From the state of Florida, Chris, we now move to my state, the state of Texas.
Neck of the woods. Yeah.
I think this is going well. This has been a very interesting matchup, I'd say, all through the summer, Chris. We've had a lot of people here and there talk about this game. Notre Dame heading to Kyle Field to take on Texas A&M in College Station. I think this is going to be a very probably ground and pound matchup, just like the game we talked about earlier with Miami and Florida. Now Mike Elko, he's now the head coach at Texas A&M. We already know what he's about. He's about hard-nosed defense everywhere he's been at, and even he instilled that at Duke. So he's the head coach now of the Aggies. And we got Notre Dame, a team that's really trying to make a name for themselves this season. So, Marcus Freeman knows what he's brought in. He had a really good recruiting class. Speaking of Duke, Riley Leonard is now the quarterback of Notre Dame. I think this game it really brings in a lot of notable names, but I think it's also going to showcase a really hard-nosed style of football that we really don't see much anymore, and I think that's what makes this week so amazing, is that we will get a chance to see a lot of these tough physical football games in front of us. Vegas has Texas A&M as a 3-point favorite in this game, Chris. So I guess that's enough to let you know right now that this game is going to be one of those ground and pound football games, those physical style football games. But overall, what do you see going forward in this game?
This is, like you said, like you highlighted, this is such an interesting matchup to me. You have Vegas favoring Texas A&M, which on paper it makes sense. There, you can make legitimate cases for both teams in this game. Texas A&M has one of the better rosters in college football, despite all the transfers. There's still a bunch of 5-star guys on that team.
Yeah, Walter Nolan now at Ole Miss, doesn't matter. You still got a lot of talent defensively. So
A lot of talent defensively.
you might Elko. You just Birdman hand rubbing.
He's like, oh, I get to coach 4 and 5 star guys. Oh, y'all done messed up. Y'all done messed up. You just gave me 4 and 5 star players. Oh man, it's about to go down. And then just Coach Elko in general, the kind of coach he is, how structured he is. Mm-hmm. The grip he has on this team and the program. He's an A&M guy, he's one of us. So I'm very curious to see how they look in game 1 with also one of the better crowds in the nation backing them. Mm-hmm. And if it all comes together instantly, just because they have a sound, solid coach with a modern offense, if your offense is good and defense plays as well as we think Coach Elko-led defense can play, hey, we might be underselling just how good A&M's playoff chances are. And then you look at Notre Dame, they say this is, people from Notre Dame are expecting this is probably the most talented quarterback room Notre Dame has had in a while.
Yeah.
We know the playmaker Riley Leonard is. Mm-hmm. Marcus Freeman has been recruiting very well at Notre Dame.
Right.
They have a talented secondary that will be put to the test against the athletes A&M has with the wide receivers they have.
Right.
Especially Moose Muhammad. Someone that has been one of my favorite players that A&M has had over the years. I'm excited to see Moose on the field again. He's one of the guys that decided to stay at A&M despite Coach Fisher being let go.
Which was very important. They needed a playmaker like Moose Muhammad to stay, and I think that's if you want to talk about big wins for Mike Elko, even though he hasn't coached a game yet, that was a big win by keeping that guy there.
You're definitely right. For sure, Kory, especially with Evan Stewart's departure and him transferring to Oregon.
Right.
That really did highlight how important it was that Moose stayed. So, 1,000% right. It's going to be very interesting. Very interesting. But I've gone back and forth on this game all summer, Kory. Early on this summer, I felt confident about saying Notre Dame would win. I really like how they built this thing up at Notre Dame. I like what Coach Freeman has there, and I think it's time for the payoff. It's time for those tough losses they've experienced to grow into a huge win against an SEC team on the road. This is that storyline. This is what it's supposed to be. It's part of that natural progression of a program and making that next step. But then also, A&M has dogs. They're like a coach.
Yeah.
I think they really did very well bringing it. So if he gets this thing going week 1, I think there's a true ceiling we haven't seen from the Texas A&M team before. It may possibly be brought out by Coach Elko. I think I'm going to go A&M. I'm going to go A&M. I know I just said I kind of want to see it to believe it from Clemson, but I think I'm going to see it from Coach Elko. I'm going to lean with the home team and say A&M squeaks out a tight one. I mean, a 31-30 kind of victory, like a 1-point win. This is going to be a game.
Yeah, look, Vegas knows something that we don't, Chris, and I think you following in their footsteps and kind of your synopsis on the whole game really it is significant. So for me, man, this is I say it's two really still talented football teams going head to head. Man, if I had to really look at it, I want to say A&M can hold that 3-point lead that Vegas has them, but I think Notre Dame is going to utilize its running game just a little bit to edge Texas A&M in College Station. And I know you kind of heard a little bit along with just the whole offense overall, but just to look at one part of their offense, not just their quarterbacks are really good, but that running back room has a lot of depth. And Notre Dame has had really good running backs in its history before, but a lot of people will tell you, Notre Dame fans will tell you that they have the potential on having a really good running back room as well, and that should be headed by Jeremiah Love.
This offense can be prolific, to like really put up points this year.
Yeah, I think Jeremiah Love, Darian Price, a lot of those guys, they got two young running backs in the fold as well, Keidron Young and Anais Williams. You know, they have a lot of good talent, and Devin Ford being a senior leader at the running back position, and just on that offense, it's a really good running back room. I think they're going to utilize that run game as well as that passing game now that Riley Leonard is there. And I mean, we forget that Riley Leonard, he can run too. He has a chance too. So and Maelko knows all about that.
He knows it all too well.
He knows all about it, and I'm sure he has a really good game plan in place to sew up the run game that Riley Leonard and those running backs have. But for me, I think they're really going to keep leaning into it as much as they can, and I think I'm pulling for Notre Dame just to beat A&M by 3. I look at that 3 points that Vegas has for A&M, and I'm going to move that over to the Notre Dame side.
Notre Dame side?
So.
Gotcha. No, I mean, I get it. I mean, this is, in my eyes, a true 50-50 matchup. You know, you can definitely make a case, a very respectable case for both teams. Would not be shocked one bit if Notre Dame comes in and holds it down and leaves College Station with a dub. But I'm ready. I'm definitely going to be tuned in for this matchup. This will be a very fun game. It's going to be nice seeing the 12th man at night on ESPN, ABC, ESPN. It'll be jumping there.
Yes, it is. The SEC on ABC. That'll be, I think, the second game on ABC featuring the SEC team. So, yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. This is going to be one heck of a week, and to have a game like this to pretty much be one of your big headliners to complete your Saturday evening. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good stuff. So I'm with you on that one. But yeah, it's a big game. I'm looking at Notre Dame. You're looking at Texas A&M. So it's good. We're on the same trajectory, but we kind of both have different paths on how both of these teams can perform, and I like that.
Exactly, it was bound to happen at some point. This is just the game where that brings it out. But yeah, it's going to be fun. We'll see who comes out on top with the win.
Exactly, man. Well, anything else you want to add, partner, on this game before we head to Bolton's bets?
No, sir. We good to go. I'm ready to keep it trucking.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time listening in to the Breakdown Sportscast, every week before our big games of college football, we always have a segment called Bolton's Bets, where Chris talks about some of his biggest games of the week and some of his biggest betting favorites of the week. So, Chris, I am going to let you take over and present everyone with the
week one.
Yeah.
Bolton's bet.
With I guess you can say, the 2024 premiere of Bolton's Bets.
Yes, sir. Yeah. we introduced this last season towards the end of the season, and I will say we fared very well. We had some good predictions that helped people cash out if they took our advice. Week one is very interesting. You see a lot of high spreads for different teams, and I took this approach, Kory, on the teams that stood out to me. I wanted to go with teams that I feel like have very talented rosters with offenses that I think will be prolific based off the coaching staff, and also teams with returning talent that I'm pretty confident in. I think that have that cohesion, and you might see less stumbling out of the gates from these teams. I think they can come out and be hot, fast, and in a hurry. So, first off, I think Tennessee covers the spread against Chattanooga. Chattanooga at Tennessee. Tennessee 38.5 point favorites. I think Tennessee covers. I mean, if Tennessee's defense is as elite as I believe it to be, and their offense is as well, boy, this could be one of them 70-7 kind of games, and they cover. You know, I think Tennessee can put up points in bunches this year. So give me Tennessee in that matchup. Another team, keeping it in the SEC, Western Kentucky at Alabama. Alabama 31.5 point favorites. I'm taking Alabama to cover. I think Jalen Milroe will be unleashed. This will be the best version of Jalen Milroe we have ever witnessed under Kalen Bohr. I think Jalen was I'm either going to run it or I'm chucking it deep guy last year. I think we'll see his intermediate passing game improve. He'll be much better of a passer. And I think Alabama just has much better players than Western Kentucky. And I know it's game one of the Bohr era, but I expect the offense to play well. I think Bama will turn up and cover. Another team, I think you'll like this one a lot, Kory. North Alabama at Memphis. 38.5 point favorites. I think
Squad
covers.
Got a little Memphis.
We raved about this Memphis team all off season long, and I think this offense will come out blazing. And I expect them to put up points in bunches. And North Alabama is not good at all. No, they aren't ready. Yeah. So I think Memphis will put on a show, and you'll get some good highlights out of that game if you're there watching that one.
Is that game at the Liberty Bowl?
It is. It is at the bowl.
Nice.
Yeah. And then for these other two games, we're keeping it in the Big 12. Texas Tech against Abilene Christian. Game at Texas Tech. Tech 31.5 point favorites. We've had some discussions about Tech during the offseason. Really like their offense. They have recruited well in the state of Texas, which, I mean, it's kind of hard not to when you have all that talent there in that state. I mean, Texas is like 5 states meshed in one.
Exactly.
But Tech has done well to get some good athletes there, and man, they bring back one of the better running backs in the nation with Todd Brooks, and the downhill runner that he is. The problem he is at the running back position. So I expect Tech to come out blazing, and just honestly, if there's going to be a good Christian school in Texas, it's either going to be Texas Christian or Southern or SMU, Southern Methodist. So it ain't going to be Abilene Christian. So
yeah, just push them aside, you know.
Yeah, I don't think they got the athletes even TCU and SMU were able to acquire. So I expect Texas Tech to pull away and get a decisive victory in that one. Mm-hmm. And lastly, keeping it in the state of Texas, I think Baylor against Tarleton State. Baylor covers the 28.5-point spread. Look, Baylor is a very experienced team. You know, they might be under the radar. Not a lot of people expecting big things from Baylor. Mm-hmm. But this is an offense that littered with nothing but experienced wide receivers in their receiving room. Bunch of seniors, a senior quarterback, Daquan Finn. I think Baylor is primed to surprise people. I think they can really have a good year and maybe, you know, get back to being the Baylor of the 2010s that would, you know, year in and year out compete. I'm not sure. I don't think they'll be at that level this year, but I do like the experience and talent they bring back on that offense. I think they cover. I think they have a good game. So those are the 5 games I'm looking at, Kory.
Okay. Is Sawyer Robinson going to be?
He is. He's on that team. He is. Yeah. He's
okay.
Backup.
Okay. So he's not going to be starting this year. He's going to be backup.
Yeah.
Okay. I just remember last year, Sawyer Robinson actually taking a lot of snaps in the game after last season, where now quarterback for Mississippi State, Blake Shapen, where he had got dinged in the game. I forget which game. I think it was the first game of the season. I think it was against Texas State, wasn't it? Yeah.
You're right.
That game. So yeah, I was thinking that he was gonna really be QB1, but I can see now he's gonna be there for depth purposes. But you know, I think you're right. This is a big year for Baylor to, you know, kind of take that next step and try not to be a doormat. Yeah.
I mean, look, man, David Aranda's on the hot seat, and we have seen tonight, Kory, how hot seat coaches perform when their back is against the wall and they got something to prove to the boosters. With the butt whooping Arkansas is handed out tonight, but I expect something similar from Baylor.
Yeah, it's it's going to be a big year for Dave Aranda. Like, we talk about show and tell. He's going to have to show and improve. Show, tell, and improve this season.
He's going to have to show his tail.
He going to show out every week.
Oh, man. But I think, at least for week 1, I'm siding with Baylor that they will show their tail. And I think that they cover. So that's my 5 for you.
Nice. So yeah, no, you're right. It's a new year for Baylor. We'll see what happens with them, but no. Overall, I'm with you on all of these bets this week, my friend. This is going to be a great week. It's seeing a lot of new stars come into play in college football. So seeing Nico Iamaleava, that's probably one of my favorite Bolton's bets games that I'm going to be keeping an eye on is seeing what Nico does, but also seeing what teams like Memphis is going to do as well. You know, Memphis is they're the talk of the town in the Group of 5 right now in terms of trying to get that playoff spot. So I'm gonna definitely keep my eyes on them as well. So yeah, it's gonna be a great week, partner. I can't wait. It's gonna be a lot of football, just chilling back, watching a lot of these games, and you know, we've had Thursday. We're gonna have some games Friday as well for y'all. If you're listening to the show, you got a lot of Friday games as well. Oklahoma's going to be playing. You get to see Michigan State, Western Michigan taking on Wisconsin, TCU at Stanford. So it's going to be fun, man. I can't wait, man. Cannot wait.
It is for sure. Yeah, we have a good slate on deck for us. These 3 days: Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and even Sunday as well. I mean, we're loaded.
Yeah, we are loaded. Like every day is football. This weekend, this Labor Day weekend. So I hope y'all get a chance to watch a lot of these games. Monday we got pretty much the headliner to end week 1 for us. We got Florida State hosting Boston College. Can Florida State figure some things out, Chris?
What a job by the schedule makers, Kory. I mean, my goodness. Not only did they isolate Florida State in week 0 and have them as the marquee matchup, many people did not anticipate Florida State losing that game and then being put back on prime time as the only game on Monday. So, boy, that is just
the pressure is on.
Man.
The script is scripted, my friend. Like, man, the pressure is on if you are a Florida State athletic administrative person. Like, if you work in that in that athletic department, man, you gotta be.
Monday morning will be tense.
Yeah. Yeah, look, it's one thing losing in Dublin, Chris. It's another thing losing at your home field. If that happens.
Yeah, and then Boston College really wants to get their lick back. Because, I mean, I don't know about you, my friend, but I might have to throw the highlights of that game on, the extended highlights, because BC was right there. Right there. Yeah. I believe it was a roughing the passer or a defensive PI? It was some penalty they had on like a 3rd and long that kept Florida State on the field and just ruined it for them, I think.
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, if I can recall in that game, there was a lot of penalties in that football game.
Yeah.
For both teams. That was the most sloppiest football game I had seen yet from Florida State, and this was a team that had Jordan Travis and everybody out there, Keon Cole. Yeah, right. They were a well-oiled machine at this point, and I don't know what it was. Like they were like sleep at the wheel. I can't even say sleep at the wheel.
Were they at the wheel?
I don't think so. I think they were one of them self-driving cars. That's how the way they were operating. One of them Teslas that Elon testing out.
It must have been one of the first generation Teslas the way they were playing, because they needed to get it together.
Yeah,
so, and they need to get it together even more now. So that Monday will be a big night, a high pressured ball game for Florida State. We'll see how they respond against BC.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So I can't wait, man. It's a big week. Week 1 is here, and yeah, we're all ready to watch a lot of these ball games, my friend. But anything else you want to add on today's show, Chris, before we head out of here?
No, sir. I mean, just a thank you to all the listeners. We appreciate you all. And we're super excited for this season. I'm sure you can hear it in our voices. We've been lit all off season long, and man, it's just getting started, and I'm just ready, so ready to see how these teams look and just how this season plays out. Because like we highlighted last week, it can be a very special one. It can be a very chaotic one.
Yeah.
So bring it on.
Bring it on. 12-team playoff. We're here. Bring me back that 2007 style season.
Oof, boy,
Give me the
that was a
vibes.
doozy. Yeah. Bring those vibes back. We'll even take a 2014 kind of season. I feel like that was a very fun season too, man. When we had Mississippi State and Ole Miss pulling off huge upsets on the same weekend.
Yeah, it was big. One
That was
Mississippi,
that
two
was, that was the
Mississippi.
time to be alive.
Yes,
Oh.
you had to been there. Yeah, you had to been there to witness a season like that. That was a really good season, and it was the first year of the college football playoff, just outright.
Right, exactly. Yep, you
Did
are
away with
right,
the
my friend.
BCS. So yeah,
Yes. Man, it's crazy how fast time flies. 10 years later, now we are in the 12 team era.
I know. Now we're arguing. We went from arguing about 4 teams to 12 teams already. So I love it, man. I love it.
Man, that's honestly, in my opinion, we'd be better off having the computer decide the 12 teams. We should have kept the BCS computers in some sort of capacity, man. It just hit me while we're talking about it. This is the era of AI. I mean, maybe the BCS was before its time, Kory.
You know what? Maybe you coming on to something right now, Chris. Because look, if we were looking at last year's college football playoff committee and how the way they were ranking stuff and putting stuff in place,
The BCS.
Look, bring in that AI. Bring it in.
Seriously, some of these choices have been questionable. With how the consistency with the rankings by the humans, by the committee.
Yeah.
The computers, though, they gonna keep it. They gonna keep telling how it is every time, whether you like it or not. They got the formula. They spits it out, and this is who we think is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. So, I'm not opposed to seeing if we can bring back them BCS computers to help us make some of these decisions.
Yeah. It's we can only dream. But hopefully we can get something implemented to help these poor people out in these war rooms around November. So yeah, it's
Yes, sir.
it's a lot. It's definitely a lot. But yeah, man. Another great episode, Chris. I always appreciate you, brother. Being
Yes,
here
sir.
with me, talk about this game called college football. This crazy game that we love called college football. So yeah, man. Before we head out, let the good people know where they can find you on social media.
Yeah, y'all can find me on X at Chris_Bolton_12. Holla at your boy, and then also on Instagram at Chris.Bolton_. It's gonna be a great time. Football season is here. College, NFL, fantasy, all of that, and we've got some. I love boxing as well. We have some great fights coming up here in September, and then love my wrestling as well. My WWE, and Roman will be in the chair again soon. Just wait. Just wait on it. It's brewing. It's coming soon. So I'm gonna sit back and let Triple H cook. But yeah, it's a great time to be alive right now with everything going on.
No, you're right. You are absolutely right. Yeah, and you can follow me on X as well at Listen to KSW, all one handle. I'm on there also talking about professional wrestling. Yeah, it was a big week coming up this Saturday and Sunday for WWE. So yeah, if you're a fan of wrestling, just like we're fans of college football, yeah, be sure to check that out. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be talking about that along with the college football season. So yeah. Well, I appreciate y'all listening in on the show. Me and Chris both. We always love when you guys can engage with us each and every week here on the Breakdown Sportscast. But for Kory Willis, Chris Bolton, we will catch y'all later on.
Peace.
Peace.